All right, first off, thank you guys, everybody, guys and ladies, for jumping on here. We obviously gave you no notification of doing a Zoom today. Terry had actually reached out to me about getting you guys up to speed on the new N8 micronodes that just came out. And so I said, hey, let's talk about them. I've been real excited about them since we talked about them a while ago. And then the official kind of announcement came out on Saturday that Joe did along with Jared, and Terry was on there as well. So Terry, I'm gonna just hand it to you, and then we'll go back and forth and maybe answer questions or whatever we need to do.
Yeah, very cool. So, just a little background story for people. Joe and Jared were bringing some things to my attention, some thoughts, some concerns, some maybe potential pivots that we had to look at, and a lot of ongoing discussions were happening. But it wasn't until you and I connected one day on the phone, and we had this in-depth conversation about like what could we do to tweak the model to make things move faster and easier, right? A server at 25K or 30K is an issue. And so you and I kind of came up with that micro concept because we've seen something similar in the past. So it's great for us to kind of reintroduce that. Then we got Joe on the call. He loved it. We were kind of at least in a similar kind of thread of thought, if you will. And so now it's finally real. It's here. We've been excited about that because I think it opens up a lot of doors. There are a lot of people who are struggling. They've siphoned the cash out of the economy for years. I know a lot of people are struggling out there, but at $300 price point to have a chance to own a piece of a cloud, I mean, you can't beat that. We're not pricing people out of the market. It's become very welcoming and allowing a lot of people to be involved. So not only does it make things move faster in emerging markets, right? But it's still going to be great for Canadians. And you and I finally convinced Joe to see the wisdom in opening up the door to Americans as well. So, Mike, what were your thoughts as we were approaching this conversation and now seeing it real?
Well, truth be told, I mean, I kind of mentally checked out after a while with the data center things because it just didn't seem like it was growing as fast. And then obviously with the price increase, like you talked about, it was just getting harder to kind of get people on board, except I believed in it 100%. And then when our conversation went from me kind of two minute conversations with you to where we took that hour and a half after I really started to understand where we're going, I think that with the tokenization and now understanding the magnitude of instead of just owning one data center that I paid tens of thousands of dollars for, I can now come in and get fractional ownership or participate and collectively, because of the way the tokens distributed with the NFTs, pretty much benefit on all of them is pretty incredible. I mean, I got a guy that he did do his swap and he swapped his data center over to the NFTs, and he's not super savvy on both counts. You know, he kind of took my word, not took my word for it, but I educated him enough. But he's just been texting me and saying, "Did you see the tokens today? You know, did you see the price go up today?" That kind of thing. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm assuming and guessing that it's probably going to do that. It just gives us, I think, an easier message, more flexibility, and a faster, easier way to introduce people to this. At a lower price point, something that people are comfortable with, they can get involved with the micros running about, I think they're what, 329, 329.99 or whatever. Pick that up, and then they're getting daily rewards, so you can go in because all of us that are probably on here, or a lot of us probably remember the debt days where we were getting the NFTs and being able to explain that in a fairly simple fashion. This thing to me just makes it a lot easier. And then to you, Terry, to talk about maybe the tokenomics, because once I started to really understand the tokenomics of normal tokenomic supplies are like this big of token distribution and tokens, and ours is even starting here. So scarcity, value should go way up, way faster. And I think we're starting to already see that, and it really just started. So give me some 2 cents on that.
Yeah, a few things. I'll say this other piece I want to have. Just remind me, I got a piece on my phone I want to share the room because it really is about having some vision, right? Because if you have the vision, you'll see that how much this could turn into something huge. And the tokenomics not insignificant, right? Most people here, I've invested in projects that have a token supply of over a billion, right, or near a billion, right? Some of them have billions and billions and billions. You know, that say that remember that petrol one a lot of us were involved with had something like 15 billion tokens, right? We're talking only about 100 million. Now, that's not insignificant because realistically, if you look at it, that 100 million is not really 100 million, right? Because we cut from the EGI pool every year, right? So for now, like we've been already going, no, let's call it 6 months, right? 6 months are already by in 6 months from now, we're going to have a halving again, which means and it's not an actual halving, so I shouldn't use that term, but 10% off the top gets removed for how much token distribution comes out, right? And when you start cutting the EGI pool, which is the main pool that distributes the tokens out to everyone rapidly, right? A lot of people haven't even started paying attention to the tokenomics here, right? We're just starting to, but it'll only be 6 months from now, there'll be a halving. And I also think the time for accumulation, the accumulation window is going to shrink quickly because now at $300, we're only inviting someone to put a foot in the door. Let's suppose they're a little skeptical. Let's suppose they're the wait and see personality. Let's suppose that the personality is like, hey, whenever there's tens of millions coming in per month, then I'll grab some, right? But even those people are, probably pretty keen to grab at 300. Even people in emerging markets are ready to grab at 300 to get a foot in the door. And now we've only got 300 founders NFT left. That's it. That's all we got. And then the ambassadors are going to shrink quickly, and then the FOMO is going to kick in. And then who knows what the future holds, but the token distribution is going to shrink rapidly, meaning that even those who want to sell are going to have very little ability to affect the price, right? The early whales still have the ability to put a dent in the price. But hey, one thing that no one's talked about, and Joe didn't talk about on Saturday either, the liquidity for the trading pair is almost at 200K already, which is not insignificant at all. Now, that's not Bitcoin numbers by any means, but for an early startup kind of a new project, that's huge. That means that anybody who's feeling a little skeptical or doesn't like something that wants to cash out, they can absolutely cash out and basically not even dent the price at all. And that's massive. And we pumped up around 30 cents, and I think we're going to hover up at 30 cents and above and start a climb from here. And we've got some other things cooking in the background. They're going to apply even more pressure than that. But I mean, the idea that you can cash out right away, we've got a healthy, stable price, shrinking token supply, shrinking DAO seats. Only 3,000 founders are going to share in the dividends. There's a lot of things for us to at least start to get excited about it. I know there's lots of people who have a little bit of road rash, right? With the tech team changeover and the delays, they suck. I'm as angry and frustrated as anybody and everybody else. But that doesn't mean I'm throwing the whatever that those sayings are with the bathwater. I'm not throwing the whole thing out and saying, hey, long term, this isn't going to work. Long term, I think this is going to be huge. So I'm sticking in the game there. But
I'm going to ask you a question, Terry. With a lot of us that did decide to swap over from having physical data centers to getting the NFTs and stuff like that, doesn't that also create a larger or easier, how do you say it, money coming into the token distribution because now it's not being paid out, which is what makes token go up to begin with?
right. I was just going to touch that. So I love that you brought that up. Now as we shift to this model, we're essentially, just for loose math, right? We're essentially doubling the amount that's going to come into the buy and burn wallet, right? Because now we're taking all the focus, all the economic energy is what I call it, right? So Innate's got this flywheel of a bunch of different things going on, but all that economic energy is now going to get shifted over, and we're going to double the amount of money that goes in the buy and burn wallet. If you guys have already looked, there's a lot of token supply already smoked out of existence that will never exist again already, right? And so that supply is going to shrink quick. If I went through every piece of the light paper and showed you, which I've already done a training video, which is in the Skills Academy, which is going to be released soon. I'm talking to Liv this afternoon. I want to get a follow-up on that. But I really went into detail about how the token supply is just going to rip down like really hard. And I think people are going to be really surprised at what happens.
Because I think it was I think it was after the DAO seat stuff came out. I was still trying to wrap my head around it because I'd never heard the term before. and then watching some of the token price just kind of stay steady, grow a little bit, I actually started going in and buying up before the whole thing came out that we could swap and get those, which to me is incredible. I mean, I just don't think people understand, and just total transparency and just being realistic here because I'm not a Kool-Aid drinker, but I'm in a few, and you guys can wink, wink, and probably figure them out. I'm in a few projects right now that have great ideas, but this one's the only one to date that I've seen that's truly delivered on having a business stuff that's working, that's bringing in customers, that's generating real revenue. Like that's to me, that's like, and it's got more liquidity than some of these other things that I've been looking at, which is mind-boggling to me because it's kind of like that. I almost feel like it's a sleeping giant that people don't understand. I mean, we just have a small handful of people on here, obviously, because we didn't put it out very well. But I think we're going to have hundreds of people on calls like this in the very near future as we get the messaging out because shortly, so right now we've had a lot of stuff go on, but I think the messaging is about to get simplified. I'm going to put some videos out. Terry and I will do more interviews. We'll put tools out that make it easy for people to share what we've got going on. And when you start to see, and you're going to have people that are going to come in and they're going to drop a few. I mean, if you watched, I think it was last week or whatever, some people came in and bought some bags, just buying straight out tokens. And that comes out of the market. That comes out of the market. And a lot of people go, oh, it went up 40%, which it did in a day. And a lot of people sell off and that shrinks the supply. And more people came in and bought bigger bags. And we're not talking lots of money. We're talking $1,000, $2,000 kind of purchases. But when you start getting people that come in and they've got some real coins in their pocket that they want to start spending on these coins, that can shrink up really, really fast. And having the NFTs and having the micros specifically just to get people's foot in the door, I think that's going to be kind of like almost the appetizer of what we really have. And then we'll speculate. I'll give this to you guys right now. Is I know that there's going to be more data centers opened, so that's going to create more projects. I also believe that the success of what we are already doing and will continue to show a track record of the ability to tokenize data centers, we're going to be the model and probably the place that other data center companies could potentially move over and just tokenize on our platform. And we've got another NFT that might feed the main innate token. I mean, I'm thinking outside the box here and thinking down the road, but I think that's all a real possibility.
Well, those are certainly possibilities. And like, there's a lot of things that have to happen in crypto, like a lot of people don't think about or don't understand. And, one of my things that I've been nudging Joe about was, hey, listen, if we go to the micro model, we widen the wallet base dramatically, right? We could easily bring in thousands of people now participating. And then when people start to, I'm telling you, when you guys watch the tokenomics video I did in the Skills Academy, you're going to start to catch the vision. And when thousands of people start doing that because they've all got just a little foot in the door, even, then that's when more people start coming in the secondary market and start snapping up tokens. They realize, hey, it's great to be an owner. It's great to own a piece of this, but I didn't get enough tokens in the early days. I got to grab them while the prices are still low. And then we have more and more market participants. And then in the future, we can get more exchange listings and we can get more eyeballs and we can get attention from CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap, and all of these things become a much more realistic possibility as we widen the wallet base. Because there's a lot of rules around CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. How many Telegram followers, how many X followers, how many wallet holders you have, how many, there's a bunch of these rules. But now with the micro program, we widen the wallet base dramatically.
And this is obviously something we can do globally. Like it's already ready to roll on a global scale, which is significant. And well, what's the right now, Terry? Because I was on the Zoom the whole time that it went a lot longer than normal. Um, can somebody? When's the full purchase date? Like when can somebody go in and buy one right now, like a micro?
You can today. You can as of Saturday, but we just need to use this tiny workaround. They will have the actual shopping cart link up and live like any day now.
Okay.
So I mean, hopefully today. We'll see. I'm going to follow up with Liv on that this afternoon and see. But there is a workaround, right? So what they're going to do. So if you go into the old co-ownership part of the, wherever you're trying to buy the co-ownership, wherever you go and buy that thing, they're just going to take that and then they're going to manually just add it on to the new program until the shopping cart's live.
Okay. So I could send somebody my direct link and get that taken care of. Now I'm gonna throw this out there, because I know uh regardless of what somebody's speculation is or their um opinion is on like affiliate marketing, direct selling, networking and stuff like that, I always look at stuff like with the opportunity that we do have still to be affiliates in N8 with these micros. I think that if you did a little more, you shared it with a handful of people, that you're going to get enough. Um, I think you have the ability to earn enough rewards as far as like income and stuff like that, that you can actually start getting and redistributing. You get commissions off of affiliate money and start buying more nodes. Like you can go in and get it and double down. Because the way I looked at it is, and I want you guys to think of this one just outside the box here. Let's say you refer Lisa and Lisa buys, let's say $10,000 worth of micros. Let's say she buys NFTs, and you get a commission big enough that you would, let's say it's a 10,000. Let's say it's about a 800 or $1,000. Let's say it's a $1,500 commission you earn from whatever Lisa bought, and you take and convert that into a node. And then you look at what the node is then producing every day token distribution wise. And then 6 months down the road, as all of the revenues come in to boost the price potentially of the N8 token, your $1,500 that would just you turned into tokens in essence might turn into 15,000. That's how I'm speculating. I mean, obviously I'm throwing bigger numbers out here, and this is not financial advice, and I'm not saying these things are all true. This is just me thinking outside the box. But the ability to refer people to get these, build a little bit of an income with it, and take that money and then buy back another asset in essence, and then those assets are producing little baby assets that potentially start growing in value. That commission that I earned right here could be 10x by the time it actually matures. Am I seeing that correctly, Terry?
Oh, you're absolutely right. Like we don't want to be giving legal and financial advice, and we're not. I'm not trying to be people. I hate being accused of being the hype guy, right? Like it's okay to speculate at some point. It's okay to discuss the math. It's okay to the challenge is that in every time anyone's ever seen us speculating about the math, there are execution variables behind it. If they happen, well, the tokenomic schedule is just such, the token supply is just as such, and eventually there's only one outcome, and it's just math, and it's not me making it up. And you have to work your way to that conclusion. But if you do, if you do, now, a lot of people say, yeah, but we need more customer revenue. We need to fill the servers. We need to, all those things are true. And all those things are being worked on slower than any of us want, myself included, but it is happening. Like I can promise you, Joe is not just sitting on his thumbs at home saying, well, I hope it just magically fills itself. Like we have strategies. If you saw on Saturday, we did the demo of the password manager. We did a few other demos on there. Liv and I are discussing a few other things that we're looking at. We are going to have retail consumer bundles, and we've also got a strategy to find people looking for cloud and calling them when they're looking for cloud. And I think that's going to work well. And as we widen the wallet base, our potential for more referrals from people who knows an IT guy just continues to exponentially grow. And so we will fill the clouds. There will be products and services, annoying as hell. I get it. Just have a long-term vision. But like Mike said, though, the important point that Mike's touching on is, yeah, you may not like affiliate things, and you don't have to. That's what I like about the model. It is optional, but if you want to make more money and you want your tokens to go up, you participating goes a long way. And for everyone who feels a little butthurt about the lack of cash flow they're hoping to get from the servers, I'm also in that boat. I wanted the cash flow. I had plans for the cash flow coming from those servers. You can still earn it in a different way. And you can take a percentage of those returns and buy more assets. The other thing we said it before, but I want to say it again. Nobody knows what the future will be. No one's guaranteeing you this. Don't ever come back to me and say that I told you this. But someday there is a chance, these discussions are already taking place. Someday there's a chance that another company may consider acquiring us. There is a chance that we may take a portion of the company and go public. There's a bunch of these possibilities. They're just possibilities, but they're already in the talks, and they're not in the talks for 10 years from now. They're in the talks for like a few years from now. When that happens, the more DAO seats you own, at some point in time, whatever that windfall is, right? I'm not going to put a number to it. Whatever that windfall is, and you can play in the math and a bunch of different numbers, however many DAO seats you have, you're going to be in line for that. And we will get to the point where we have healthy quarterly dividends. They may not come as fast as you would like. They didn't come as fast as any of us would like, but they will come. And now they're limited to 3,000 people. So those founders, which is only 300 left, is a really great place to be. You know what I mean, Mike? I mean,
I do.
being an owner
Absolutely.
is good. I mean, that's the whole point, right? It's like, it's we all want to get rich in a week. Everyone does. Like, we all do. Mike and I are included in that definition, but we're adults and we've been around the block for long enough to know that if we have a long-term mindset, that we're going to do significantly better over the long term. Isn't that kind of like the difference between those who are already checked out and those who are still here and starting to see the future and re-engage? Maybe you've been disengaged. I would argue that now is the time to re-engage, right? Things are pretty good right now. They're not perfect. Not perfect. All right. I wouldn't say I'm very frustrated. Like I said, I want to acknowledge where you're at, right? I don't want you to be the guy that pom-poms, everything's great, everything's perfect. But we do have 2 fully operational data centers, fully integrated. Everything's working. And we do have a suite of products and services. And we do have the onboarding software. Like, we do have a lot of the infrastructure that had to be there for us to scale properly. And Joe and Jared, probably the right decision over the long term. Short term, it's massive pain, but over the long term, the decision for them was to get the infrastructure just right first so we can scale seamlessly in the future. It's probably wisdom in that, but man, I get that it's short term painful, but we're there. We're close. I know we've said that before, but honestly, and like Mike said earlier, hey, we're on some projects right now where they talk about trillions and trillions of dollars, and I think they will come. However, right now there's no liquidity, no opportunity to sell, no place you can sell tokens, none, nothing. No, the products and services, you can't use anything or do anything in. Lots of great ideas, and I think they will come to fruition. But we have to give the cloud some credit here because they have built a lot of infrastructure. A real infrastructure from the ground up, the hard stuff, not the easy stuff as well. Doing a simple software, not even that hard. There's lots of copy out there, but some of this stuff that's been built in the cloud is very tangible. So we got to give some credit where it's due.
100%. Terry, do you want to take any questions or?
100%.
If anybody's
we
got
don't
any,
need to make this a long call.
yeah, we're just trying to give you guys an update of where we're at, what we're thinking. I'll just let you know, I want to do a very go aggressive at this. I see money on all fronts from this. Affiliate money, token money, DAO money. I mean, I do see a bunch of opportunity here, and I'm gonna do what I can to capture it. And any tools I can put out that I can help you guys with, I obviously want to do that. Anybody got any comments, questions? Back us up on what we're saying, anything like that.
Yeah, we'd love to go do it together, right? It can't just be Mike and I and Joe and a few others, right? Like, but if we go after this thing and maybe we can get back to generating significant revenue, that we could start to acquire the remaining assets that are there. Like, I want to own as many NFTs as I can. If I know that there's a buyout coming someday down the road, 3-ish years, 4 years, 5 years, whatever that number ends up being in real practical terms, I want to own as much of it as I can. As many tokens, as many DAO seats. I want the dividends. I want the big windfall at the end of it, however that shows up.
Right. Anybody? Otherwise, Terry and I'll jump off and we'll get back to work. It's
But
okay. You don't have to say anything.
yeah, it would be great if we just did more of these, even if they're shorter calls and maybe with more frequency, Mike, as we try and just, get people re-engaged. Because I think we're still onto something. So
Yeah. Well, just so you know, I'm a visual guy, and so I understand sometimes it's hard to just listen to talking heads. Once we get all the graphics, all the PowerPoint's done, everything's ready to roll, which is like right there. These are going to get more aggressive. Like we're going to put these out because I want to build this thing. You're just going to have to you just plug some people into it. Working on some tools with Joe also just to get some more content out there. And I think this is going to be something we're going to have some fun with.
yeah, Liv and I are working on exactly that stuff this afternoon. So hopefully we'll get some stuff, some clarity sorted out and have it out in the next couple of days, hopefully. So
Perfect. All right, everybody good?
yeah, thanks, Mikey. Appreciate it, buddy.
All
Always a
right.
good
Well,
time. Thanks everyone for joining, and we'll
thanks,
catch you on the
guys.
next one soon.
All right. Talk to you guys. Thanks.